Hello.
Hello.
If there was ever a time for me to start with a howdy, y'all, imagine blowing it before the show even starts.
Howdy, y'all.
Yeehaw.
Howdy, y'all. Welcome to Understable Minds.
That's solid.
Welcome to Understable Minds.
Grab a stool, pull yourself
I
up.
feel like my mustache is approaching Texas level.
Texas
Cowpoke.
levels.
Cowpoke.
What's up, Warlord?
Cowpoke. Hello, Warlord.
Hello.
Warlord of art.
Howdy, Warlord. Well, looks like this episode was brought to you by
Wrangler.
Double G's Craft Jerky.
Get yourself a brand new pair of fresh 501s.
Is
that Levi's?
That's Levi's, yeah,
Oh
definitely.
yeah, that was the.
Double partnership.
What's up, Bodie?
That's what
Blue Sky?
Coleman and Paul Rudd were talking about.
Yeah, we made it back, guys.
That was pretty
We
funny.
out here.
Met Ricky at the Disc Shack. Very cool.
We're really out here, yeah, yeah. Whoa, ho, 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 ho.
Twice.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Can you meet someone twice?
Yeah, sure. I mean,
Hey, AJ, nice to meet you.
Especially if they forget.
nice to meet you.
I meet people twice all the time, mostly because I have a horrible memory.
I meet, yeah.
I
And
just
it's
forget
like-
the first one.
It's like,
so
oh,
then
dude, nice to meet you. It's like, oh, no, we met already.
I know, yeah, we met.
It's like, oh,
that's on me.
that's
then.
my bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
If you can't tell, we have not fully unpacked from moving back or coming back from Texas.
What are you talking about?
Dude, what the heck are you talking
This
about?
is not how
dude?
my office usually looks.
That's totally how I cleaned my room as a kid. Just throw everything in the closet. And in
AKA
this,
Danny's office.
right. In this situation, your office is the closet. We just put it in Danny's office.
Mm-hmm.
My office looks exactly like it did when I left. I don't know what the big deal
Because all the
is.
crap is in my office, guy.
Guy.
I have yet to find
Guy.
a problem with this.
I gotta get the first
The first what?
topic already. I just remembered. There it is.
How's everybody doing?
So that I can make it look like this.
Skiddly-bap-bap. Whoa, yeah, yeah.
So when you think about singing, it really just prevents anybody else from talking when you're doing it.
Kinda,
Age.
unfortunately. I mean,
Hey, yeah, we saw Rick take the W. We'll talk about that later. We're definitely going to get into that on the
spoiler
podcast.
Oh,
alert.
shoot.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, I forgot to put that in the notes.
Everybody.
Dang it.
Spoiler
Uh-oh. Good
alert.
thing we're giving ourselves a minute here to
Yeah.
brief.
I need to find the... Is this on the normal Understable Minds doc?
Mhm.
We really picked a name that's a mouthful. Understable Minds.
Understable mind.
How many syllables is that? Far too many.
Understable minds. 5.
It's too many.
How many?
Understable mind.
We need to start cutting them from the beginning, though. So it's just Durstable Minds?
Durstable?
Yeah, the
just
more
bull
dir
minds.
we can get in there, the better, really.
Bull Minds is how I
Bull mind.
it's just Bull Minds.
That, see, and that fits that full circle right back to the Texas Longhorns.
Yep.
Grab life by the horns.
Grab.
All right. All right, ready to
Is
start
that-
recording? Let's see
Grab
everything's
this
working.
podcast by the
young
horns.
buck.
All right. I'm going to put the thumbnail back up. That is this one.
Please don't do that again. That hurt.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
it
I'm
on the floor.
starting recording in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Howdy!
I accidentally did it like a little bit late. So give it like a second after I press after 0 to like get okay. 5, 4, 3, 2.
Howdy, y'all. Welcome back to Understable Minds. We're back from Texas.
Back from Texas. And we brought the
Yeehaw.
accent with us. You're just going to have to deal with that. All right, let's get right into it.
If you don't like Southern accents, authentic Southern accents, this is not the show for you.
I will say you guys have nailed the talking slowly part of the Southern accent.
Yeehaw, brother.
It's got to take you a week to finish a paragraph.
Hook 'em horns.
At least in an Arkansan Southern accent. I don't know about the others.
Is that more of an Arkansan accent, or was that? Do we kind of nail the Texas?
I
there?
can't tell the difference. It tends to have its own personal flair, which is going to
Okay.
vary. But like, yeah,
How many people do you think we could offend if we put up the Texas horns And I said, hook 'em, Aggies. Do you think the whole state of Texas would be mad at us or what?
Hook 'em, anteaters.
We're not in Texas anymore. We don't
Anteater?
get-
Is that their...
UC Irvine represent. How we doing?
what's the University of North Texas logo? We always drive past that
Don't
one.
know.
On the way down and back, we always
I'm
drive
not
past
sure.
that one. So.
Oh, that must be in North Texas, huh?
Yeah, and it's a university, actually.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Hey, so this actually, it really isn't a Texas show. It will be pretty Texas focused this week, geographically speaking. But we don't. It's not just about Texas and horns and UT football.
And tumbleweeds.
Hey, tumbleweeds, big old longhorns,
Maybe some sand.
pickup trucks.
I'll tell you what, man.
What you know about long?
Just got my pickup truck out of the shop.
Which one?
Yeah, you know.
Don't tell
You
me
know
you
which
drive you a
shop.
Ford.
Chevy.
You got one of them Toyotas.
Toyota.
All right, no, yeah.
Well.
That's our show for this week.
Can you tell we're a little fried from
Right,
walking the course all weekend?
Is it up? Well, they can probably. I don't know how well it's picking up on the screen, but my face is about Texas Longhorn orange. I'm pretty close to that color.
You burnt amber.
I didn't quite use the sunscreen day one.
Yep.
And made a mistake and paid for it days 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, however long we were there for. We were there for a while.
It's all a blur at this point.
Very much so. Hence, no episode last week. Unfortunately, as people can
That's
tell.
why we're out of focus.
Darn it. As people viewing can tell, and the audio listeners can probably tell by the silence coming from him, there is no Eric McCabe this week. He is out in about the complete opposite end of the country. I think he's headed all the way northeast.
Yeah.
On a course design there, so we will have to wait until next week. We can ask him about that, get some information about that as much as he is willing and able to share. But myself, Anthony, you, Mr. AJ Risley,
That's me.
Danny Lindahl, we all went down to Tyler, Texas this past week for the Texas State Championships.
Yeah.
So
We sure did.
our weekends were all the same. A lot of disc golf.
Right.
Unfortunately, we didn't get to play hardly any.
Yeah, we played it a little bit.
We played, 5 holes?
If that, yeah.
4 or 5 holes for a video coming soon. We can get into that in a little bit.
Just a little bit.
But I guess what I really wanted to say, attaboy Rick.
Oh, yeah.
Boy, Rick.
How about that,
There
boy
you go, Rick.
Rick? Once again, I
Hey.
wrote in the show notes, can Ricky lose? No,
Apparently
not at Texas State.
Not at
No.
Texas State. Statistically, never.
Has
He-
played the event 6 times. How many times do you think he's won it, AJ? If he can't lose, how many times do you think he's won?
6.
That's a good
6 out
guess.
of 6.
He is 6 for 6 at Texas State.
That's yeah.
And what's somebody sent in a question through the squad. I didn't get the chance to write your name down. I apologize to whoever that was, but it was something about like why is it that Ricky just can't seem to lose there? It's gone through
Why does he excel?
right. There's been different courses. There's been different, I think, times of the year. I don't think it's always been right at the beginning. Maybe it has.
No, yeah, it's usually like middle
Early?
to late
Okay.
March. Yeah.
Different courses, different fields.
Different courses, that's the important part.
Different-
Different weather conditions.
He's gone through how many different iterations of his bag?
Yeah.
He's had 3 different sponsors in at least 3 different, probably 4 different sponsors in those 6 wins. Like-
Yeah, I think so.
He just doesn't lose. Is that a mindset thing, do you think?
I think it is. I think there's something to be said about the conditions. I remember I think it was the 2014 Texas State Championships that was really cold, really windy, and on an open course. And it seemed like most of the players were struggling, and Rick was just out there
bombs.
slaying it. Yeah.
He's pretty good.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that's a big part of it. I know. Let's see, he won last year, and that was just strictly dogwood. This year was a same property,
Correct.
same complex, but an a layout that was kind of like an amalgamation of 3 different courses.
Right.
It's an SAT word for all you high schoolers out there. And so, I mean, so we can kind of like, we can think, okay, well, he's good at plenty of different styles of golf. Dogwood is a technical wooded track.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really interesting. There was 4 dogwood holes here, 4 straight up.
Might have been 3.
They played them last year. Yeah, it was 5. Yeah, 5, 6, 7, 8.
And,
okay.
No, 9 is from Hickory. Sorry.
Yeah, so 5, 6, 7, 8 were the 4 that were
Yeah.
old dogwood holes. But the order you played them in is different because it was dogwoods hole 2 and 3, and then like 16, 17. But you played them 16, 17, 2, 3. And dogwood is like it's like you were talking about. It's technical, but you have to scramble at
Right.
dogwood. You are not getting out of that course without scrambling on.
Yeah, your drive is going to hit a tree.
Right, more than a half of the holes, at least of the par 4s, you're going to throw scramble shots.
Right.
Because there's just, it's that tight. And this course, it was almost like the pars felt a lot harder to achieve. It felt like you kind of worked for your pars a lot on the thorn.
Totally.
And that puts a lot more emphasis on your tee shots. You have to put yourself in good positions. A lot of the par 3s were like, you have to throw a perfect tee shot. Holes 11 and 12.
Well, you just have to execute at a very high level.
Right.
You know, it's like there's those, that, like you said, that stretch of 3 par 3s, very difficult par 3s, like over 400 feet each one. The first one's a blind shot straight down a hill.
Hole 10 you're talking about, right? With those like 4 ladyfinger
Yeah, 10,
trees?
11, 12. That first one there's a lot of deception there.
Right.
The second one is just a big bomb
massive.
with not much ground play. You know, it's a lot of sand out there.
Almost none.
And then the third is like a snaking shot that
it's almost a combination of the two.
Yeah.
Where I don't
Blind.
think you can see the basket from the tee pad.
Right.
It's 435 slightly uphill, but you've got to hit a gap. And like you said, you have to kind of force something over a little bit, but there's that big cedar on the right, I don't know, 150 feet off the tee.
Mm-hmm.
You have to kind of bend around that and then come back. The basket is 25 feet short of an OB street, where hole 10 is, I don't know, 10 feet short of that same street. Blind. It's that stretch. If you come out of there under par,
you're
one
beating
down
the field.
through those 3. Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I mean, like, and back to all of his 6. Is it 6? Now, or is it now? Is it 7 or is it now? Is it 6?
No, it's 6
wins?
now.
6.
Okay.
He's 6 for 6.
Now the 6, like, over all the different courses, different conditions, different discs, different styles of courses, right? That's
Mm-hmm.
I think really what it boils down to is what you said. I think it's a mindset thing. I think there's probably a certain kind of confidence, like a specific quality of his overall confidence that comes out when he gets to that tournament. And then I think along with that it's just his practice and preparation. And when we filmed a putting clinic video with him yesterday, he kind of mentioned his, he referenced his practice and how he implements that and how he uses that in his routine and the mental quality of that practice. And so I think that this tournament, maybe because it's rotating and it goes from course to course, maybe all those different variables, he takes all those into account and finds the one constant, which is himself and his mind.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
And so maybe it is.
Should we hear what Rick has to say about it? We were able to catch up with him for an interview after his final round.
Man, lucky us.
Yeah. Jeez.
Dude, that dude is hard to track down. He's
a busy man.
Anyways, let's go to Rick.
I feel amazing. I mean, it's I definitely feel like finally pressure is relieved. I got what I came here to do. I can finally relax, because that's definitely something when you're playing at the top level and every shot counts. You can't relax too early. And I've luckily been in that spot enough to know that you can't relax on 16, 17, or 18, any hole. And so I just left it all out there mentally, and that's exactly what it takes to be able to win. And so I'm just able to finally relax, take a couple of deep breaths, and just take it all in. Yeah, I think for me it was the clutch upshots on 16 and 18, which is Harp and Adjustus. Those are my two go-to upshot discs that really got me close to give me a chance to make some clutch birdie putts down the stretch. And then of course the Dagger. That's been my go-to putter, and I'm really starting to find my release with it, and really see some putts go in, and that's what builds my confidence, is seeing the results after just as much practice as I put in. It's the most pressure I've felt all season, that's for sure, just because coming in as defending champion, new sponsor, and yeah, so that's, I want to give back for what Didi's done for me. I want to give back to them and represent them well, and represent them with the win. And so I'm so glad I was able to do that this week, and really show everybody that I'm back, and I'm here to stay, and I'm glad to have the support system that Dynamic offers.
Ladies and gentlemen, your 2022 Texas State champion, Ricky Wysocki.
Jeez. That's so sick.
It's really sick.
That's so cool.
And thanks for the shout out, Rick. It's
boy, Rick.
I know I appreciate that. I appreciate being a part of that success, and it motivates me to do my part in the future, because I mean, that's a genuine guy right there who I think a lot of people aspire to be like him.
Oh yeah.
And so if in our position, I think that's a cool opportunity that we have.
Yeah, it was really interesting. Like you see these top players like Ricky, and you think they're these like otherworldly beings. So they're so talented. They must be these like totally different people. But then yesterday, on Monday after the event, we filmed a couple of things with him, and like even during the event, he's talking to people. He's just a totally normal dude. Hey man, how's it going? Good. It's like, yeah, okay, this doesn't feel like a B tier that I would play at Jones Park or whatever.
Right.
But like Ricky's just another dude. He's like you were saying, he's a super genuine guy, super happy for him. And something cool, unless I'm wrong, which has happened, I think this is the first time that a Dynamic Discs sponsored MPO competitor has won a Disc Golf Pro Tour event. I know Nico won a couple when he was with Westside. Ricky was with Latitude and won some, or was the Pro Tour not a thing yet?
It was, yeah.
Okay. But like AJ, you were close. Clemens has been close. We've had other players be close. Obviously, Val just won Waco a couple weeks ago. So we've had FPO wins before, but I in my research, I couldn't think of or find a Dynamic Disc sponsored MPO win at has there been any Silver Series? I don't think so.
No.
I don't think there's even been a Silver Series. So shout out to Ricky, man. It was interesting to hear him talk about the pressure that he feels, because obviously there's pressure because he's competing for a win on an Elite Series event. That's pressure, but he knows going into that he's 5 for 5 at this event. He's got 2 strokes to make up on Calvin, who is one of the 4 best players in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's got this streak to defend. He's got this. He even put something out on Instagram before the event. He put out this cool picture, and it said like "defend the title," and it was him putting on the elevated basket and everything. Like, so he's aware of this. He knows that, and that's all pressure that's going to build on him. And then, let's see. So hole 1, I think he and Calvin both birdied. Hole 2, I think he made up a stroke on him. But then hole 4, he gives a stroke right back, and like they were battling the whole time. Hole 7 stands out in my mind, where Ricky parks it. Like it's the elevated pin with the billboards beneath it, and Ricky's leaning up against it.
He went loose at Justice off the tee, which for a 300-foot shot is a smash on a Justice.
Yes, that's insane. And he parks it. Calvin throws and I couldn't see exactly what happened, but I saw that it hit trees, got a kick, was lucky to be, maybe not lucky, but was fortunate to be inbounds, probably 90 short. The Pro Tour put the putt out, and Calvin jams it. Like the craziest putt I've ever seen. Calvin threw it, and I could hear him. He was like, nope. And then it hits the cage, kicks straight up, hits the band, and falls into the cage.
Yeah.
From 90 feet, touches no chains, makes it. And, like, if you're Ricky in that situation, you got to think walking up that fairway, like, I just gained a stroke back. I think at that point I think Calvin had him by 1.
Yeah.
So you got to think, like, okay, I'm tied. We've got 11 holes to settle this thing. It's me and you. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
And then he just jams a 90-footer in your face. Like,
I wouldn't say jams. He looked more like flops.
right.
Like whimpers a 90-footer
He made it.
into your face.
Bobbles a 90-footer in, I
Yeah.
guess. Yeah. Like, the amount of pressure that situations like that, the roller coaster of emotions. I was talking with Rick's manager, Ari, and I was like, when do you get nervous? And she was like, I can't anymore. I was like, I'm just sitting here taking pictures of this, and my roller coaster of emotions are like all over the place. Because, like, yeah, of course I want Ricky to win, but I also like Calvin. So it's like, oh, that's so cool. He made a 90-foot putt. Wait, but that stinks for Rick. But wait, it's like, I'm not cut out for this, man. I am not built to be that guy in that situation. But Rick is.
Just nerves of steel. Like, and he came from the chase card in round 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because he only shot 8 down round 1.
Only,
yeah, which is ridiculous.
Come on,
even
dude.
par,
It's pretty
that's
good.
always cool because it's like a good marker of a good like Pro Tour course is when even par is 1,000 rated.
And I think round 1 even was like 10:05, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or it's roughly that, within like 5 or 10.
Right.
That's always like the marker of a good course.
Yeah.
And Ricky shot 8 down and was on the chase card round 2. Just because Paul shredded. 12 down is absurd.
Paul went nuts. I think
Calvin shot a 10 that round.
James
Yeah.
also shot
James
10.
was 10.
Mm-hmm.
And Barsby with
And
a
Barsby.
9.
Round 2, the hot round was 11, which Ricky and Calvin tied
Mm-hmm.
to put him 1 back. And then 10 was the hot round 3.
Also Ricky, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, he had hot round 2 and hot round in round 3. Speaking of hot rounds, I don't know if you guys noticed on the FPO side, Kona tied for the hot round in round 3 with a triple bogey
Gosh.
on one of the, I don't know,
15?
yeah, on 15, which was like, there's no easy holes on that course, right? That's probably on the easier side.
Yeah.
If you get a clean tee shot,
You shouldn't bogey.
right, you're probably walking out of there with par.
Mm-hmm.
But that being said, the tee shot is not easy. You're throwing uphill through a gap of these 2 thick cedars where if you go into them, no, you're not.
Yeah,
you're
that was Kona. Yeah, she went in and took 2 strokes to get out.
Right, because it's a wall.
Mm-hmm.
Like, good luck trying to get out of there. Yeah, so if she plays that hole 10 times, she triples it once. And unfortunately that happened. But then I think she birdied the next 2 and still ended up tied for the hot round. So shout out to Kona, shout out to Val finishing for 4th in the FPO side. Kona tied for 10th on the FPO side. So both of them had a very solid showing as well.
For sure.
Overall, what were your guys' thoughts on the course? I've kind of given mine a little bit. Danny started on his, so I'll let you keep going, Danny.
Yeah, I thought the course looked like fun. I think the general consensus, just from we did in the bags, and I had to drive players from where Anthony was filming up to where the field where they were throwing all their discs is in, and I asked them about it on the way, and like Dogwood was special. Dogwood has like a place in people's hearts, and I think that if you asked all the players, they would prefer to play Dogwood.
Yeah.
But this wasn't a bad course. It was a good course. It was just compared a lot to Dogwood, which is kind of part of what brought it down. But it's a very good course. It was challenging, and it filmed and like was spectated a lot better than Dogwood too. Dogwood would not have been able to handle the capacity of
Yes.
people and cameras that were on this course.
Yeah, spectating was a huge plus for this course. And I like you said, I heard people talking about like, I wish we could just play Dogwood, because it's one thing to have an event like Worlds changes locations every year, but you're literally playing holes on Dogwood. If you turn left instead of turning right, you go to hole 4 dogwood instead of hole 9 thorn. Like dogwood is literally right there. But like you said, spectators, they could not have fit the amount of spectators. They probably couldn't fit half the spectators that were there.
Oh, for sure.
On dogwood. And I think that this course, it offered more variety than dogwood, where dogwood is a lot of very wooded holes. And this is not a slight against wooded golf. I love woods golf, but it offered more variety. There's a lot more elements with wind, elevation, woods. You know, it offered more variety of challenge, I think. What do you think, AJ?
Yeah, definitely more variety, which I think at this stage, that's kind of what, I mean, that's what I would prefer to see.
Oh yeah.
I would prefer to see the players being tested on, you know, a wide range of skills. So yeah. I don't know. I think, yeah, that was my first time at Lindsay Park. So I'd never seen dogwood up close and personal. I didn't exactly, so I didn't really, you know, I had heard the hype was really my only perspective going into it.
Yeah.
So when I got out there and I saw this thorn layout, hole 1 on that huge pyramid, pretty sick. Really, really great golf hole with the OB all, you know, on both sides, and then strong wind with the big pyramid. I thought, yeah, okay, that's a good starting hole. That's a good championship level par 3. Great. Hole 2 was you know, a bit of the same, OB on both sides. It was a par 4 instead. Hole
2 is a great par 4.
I agree,
because it's there. If you go big off the tee, and there's 2 options on your second shot. Like the tee shot, you can throw kind of whatever, just put it inbounds and far, and then the second shot you can throw turnover, you can throw sidearm, or you can throw backhand hyzer. And for all of the MPO field, like the distance on that hole, I think it was 750 or so. That's very manageable, even with the slight elevation. But you have to be on, and that's what that course does. There's no gimme holes. Right.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, I thought that there was a lot of difficult holes, just difficult to par though.
Right.
You know, and so I thought that was going to be a good test. I thought seeing what I saw and hearing about the par, it's just so interesting because we've gotten to this point where the skill level is so high, and so part of the reason why people have gotten so good, or we think they're so good, is because they're getting so many birdies. And so this was just another example. There's been others in the past of a course that is going to be difficult to shoot 15 down. It's almost going to be impossible. And so that's why, you know, people were looking at Macbeth's 12 down and in awe. He shot 8 down on the front 9 that round, and that was pretty close to perfect. You know, the only hole that he didn't birdie, the only hole that he parred was hole 4, and that was played 390 times, give or take a few, and only 2 birdies were seen the whole weekend.
Right. I would say that 8 through 9 on that course that's perfect.
Yeah.
You're realistically, he probably wasn't going into that expecting to shoot that, but in a real world, you can't realistically expect to do better. Getting a 3 on hole 4 is throwing 2 incredible shots, and probably unless you have bananas distance, which there were people that did, probably making a circle 2 putt to get a 3 on that hole.
I don't know. I could do that.
You could birdie that hole.
Yeah, I could do that.
You get a birdie 3
for sure. It doesn't look that hard.
Yeah.
So while we were out on this course, we had an idea for a series because we followed Ricky every round. We had his lines that he took on a lot of the holes, and while watching from home, it can be tempting to think, I could do that when you see somebody take a ridiculous line or do something crazy on a hole. And so we decided to put that to the test. And so the last day after we were done filming with Ricky, he had to go, and then we all played 3 or 4 holes, and we tried to follow Ricky's lines, and it did not go well. In the slight, that course is so much harder than it looks.
And it looks hard.
Yeah,
it
like you
doesn't
think
look easy.
you think hole 3, it's a big forehand, but it's like downhill, right? Like, so it's got to get some. No, it is
far.
a very hard shot.
It's pretty
Yeah.
far.
Very difficult.
Right.
Over the top on what is that, 6? Or it's
Yes.
Dogwood 17.
6.
Yeah.
Yeah, 6.
You think,
4.
why do people not just throw up there? Why do they go underneath? Because it's very hard.
Right.
And so it'll be a fun series to come out over the next couple weeks, I guess. But yeah, it's the working title, I guess, is I could do that.
Yeah, it's really funny. Like you definitely have that thought watching coverage of like, that's a pretty sick shot, but what's hole 3? 460? Yeah, it's pretty downhill. If I get a good skip, it's possible if I kind of get something over. And then even in person, it just looks so easy. And then you try it and you're halfway.
Right.
Like, what? This isn't. It's playing a different game. It's not fair.
Well, they're working a different job. The game is the same. Let me just dispel that.
Nah.
Let me just disagree real quick.
I disagree.
The game is the same, but we are here in an office 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. And the people that we're watching are on the course, in the gym, at the practice basket.
Sure.
Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, give or take, whatever. So
Yeah,
just be real with yourself.
When I live in Emporia, Kansas, and we have 40-mile-an-hour winds outside today, and I have to throw a hyzer, and I grab my enforcer and throw it as hard as I can, and it hyzers. And then Ricky steps up to hole 17 and says, I need something to kind of work right a little bit and then get back left and get me max distance, and he throws an enforcer. Like, it's
literally the same equipment. It's literally the same tee pad. It's like
right, but it's not the same game.
Gosh, yes, it is. It's just
like
dude has been
tools.
doing it. Dude has been doing this the thing for what, I don't know, what is 2022. He's been doing that at a high level for 11 years now.
I've been playing longer than Ricky then, so got him.
Jeez. Wow.
Whatever.
But
anyway, let me finish about the course. I think it was a very difficult layout, and I don't know. We saw and heard so many people kind of voice their displeasure about having to play the thorn layout rather than the dogwood layout. Mm-hmm. And it definitely seemed like they were saying we have to play this rather than we get to play this. So just remember that. But it was not an easy course. The par was not easy. It wasn't designed to be easy. It was designed to be difficult. And I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. So
yeah, I think it's interesting. I heard on day 2, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
Jeremy Colling was on. He was on Ricky's card. He was on Chase card round 2, and they were talking. Mm-hmm. They were on hole 9's tee pad, which 9 is that uphill kind of force something over, threw a gap off the tee, and then threw a gap up near the green. And it was. He even admitted something about like, I'm usually one that complains, and I'm very outspoken about my complaints, but I only have 2 complaints with this course, and his issues or complaints, however you want to phrase it, were hole 4, and he even voiced this in round 1 of the Jomez coverage. There was back and to the left of where the pin was, there's kind of a tunnel and then a clearing. He thought if you move the basket back there another 100 or so feet, you have now a legit par 5, whereas hole 4 is like, it's like a 4.5. 4 feels pretty good. 5 doesn't feel like a terrible bogey. Mm-hmm. And then hole 9, he thought you either just could bring it closer and make it a more attainable par 3, or move it farther back and make it a relatively soft par 4. and his advocacy was to make it a little bit more attainable par 3. And it, even in his words, it's someone that is a big, I forget exactly how he phrased it, but he was kind of joking about the fact that, like, you know, I complain a lot and I only have 2 half complaints about this course. Like, people are just whining to whine. It's not
right.
It's not a bad course. It is a hard course, but that doesn't mean it's bad.
I think put this course anywhere besides right next to Dogwood, and those complaints disappear.
Yeah, and I think there are some valid complaints about. I heard that, like, I think it was Yuli twisted his ankle in the sand, and that was why he had to drop out. And that player safety issues are 100% valid. There's not much that realistically they can do about that because the ground there is sand. So unless they just AstroTurf all of Lindsay Park, there's not much that can be done about that. But that's a valid complaint. Having to play in sand somewhat, I would assume, increases the risk of injury. So that's a valid complaint, I guess. But the course itself, the layout, the holes that you have to play, I think they were good. I think they were tough. I think it was very tough. And if people's complaints about it are 9 is a hard par 3, 4 is a hard par 4, I don't care. Par doesn't matter.
Right. I mean, it's just interesting how the players that win, they don't usually complain.
That's true.
I mean,
That's
like and this is still just kind of irking me, so I'm just going to, like, vent it. But, like, I think
Please don't do that into vents.
the first day that we were there, like, the first people that we were talking to, like, out of the car, two touring pros, they're like, oh, you haven't seen the course yet? It's bad. And I was just like, okay, well, I'm going to turn and walk away from you now.
Yeah,
Because I don't need that. I don't need that negativity right off the bat. Like, what's the point of you coming up and telling us, like, this course is bad? Like, I haven't even seen it yet. Like,
yeah,
I really didn't understand that. I didn't appreciate it. I
can't comment
didn't
on
respect it at all.
from a player's perspective because I'm, as we already alluded to, playing a different game than those people. But
yet Ricky said he liked your putt.
Yeah.
So maybe you guys
stay tuned. Coming
soon.
I
guess you're right.
Ricky saw me airball a circle 2 putt and said, "Hey, you got a pretty good putt." So that was the highlight of my life.
It was the other way around.
Officially hung up. What do you mean the other way around? I saw him.
It was the other way around. He said you had a good putt and then you airballed.
Okay, then maybe I hit metal, but I definitely missed the putt, and then he said that.
Yeah.
I forget where I was going. I can't say whether the course was good or bad as a player's side. As a spectator, as a viewer, I thought it was fun. I thought it was exciting. I thought it was interesting. It offered good variety, and it led to a battle that came down to the last hole. Like, Ricky had a 1-stroke lead going into hole 18 and won the event. I think he won by 2 because he made his putt. No, they both. He and Calvin both 3'd it. So, yeah, he won it by 1.
Yeah, he shot 29, Calvin shot 28.
Yeah, he won the event by 1. That, I don't know. I think that's what you want out of a course, is a good, interesting battle for the win. And that's exactly what we got.
I think what we wanted out of the course was a bunch of good videos. And we sure got them.
We got a ton.
We have
content.
If you're subscribed, we've already put out 2 practice rounds, one with Kona Panis and one with Valerie Mondahano and Mason Ford. You can check those out on our channel. They're already out. I think they're pretty funny. We also have one with Matty O filmed that's going to be on the West Side channel. So you definitely want to find that because that is going to be great. It's not out right now, but yeah, they're on the way. Anthony, what else did we film?
We got in the bags with 13 different players. Danny was working on a vlog, kind of documenting the whole trip. As we alluded to before, we got some content with Ricky yesterday morning. We filmed some putting instructional content. We filmed kind of his big tip content about what his biggest tip from taking him from an AM to touring professional, disc golf pro tour winner, world champion, things like that. We played a game of horse, but instead of horse, we spelled Texas. I got to spell out Texas state champion Ricky Wysocki. Take your bets on who wins that one. Just a lot. Like Danny was talking about, we went and tried to copy Rick's lines. follow those angles and distances and things like that. A bunch of pictures. It was bananas.
It was a good time.
I don't know if bananas are a common food item in Texas, but it was bananas for the three of us. I guess, AJ, it was your first kind of disc golf trip on the media side of the camera, right?
Somewhat, yeah.
The first official one, at least. What was your
Definitely as an employee.
What was your impression or your thoughts on that? Was it what you were expecting? Like when you go to a tournament and you see Danny and I show up, and like you kind of see, oh, they're here with the camera, then they're gone. Like, was it what you expected, or was it different, or what was that like?
It was pretty close to what I expected. I know. Yeah, I mean, I've done like a few things similar. Been a part of like I've helped out with the PDGA media at a couple of amateur worlds.
Okay.
And I remember those being really long days, and so this was just like that. It was getting to the course when, for the earliest tee times or close to it, and staying until our last team player was done playing, and filming and focusing on that. And that is takes a different physical and mental toll on one compared to what I was much more accustomed to, which was being the player.
Sure.
And so it was like almost twice as much time spent at the course.
Yeah.
Really from somewhere around like 9 or 10 a.m. to close to 7 p.m. with maybe an hour of downtime in between.
Right. Spread out across those probably 10 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But my Fitbit was telling me 10,000 steps by like 2 p.m.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was telling me at the end of the day upwards of 15,000 steps usually. And so, yeah, I mean, that was like a big physical toll. And then also to be like really focused on just that little eyepiece and looking into the camera and making and tracking either tracking the disc or tracking the player reacting to their shots. That takes quite a mental toll. That's like a lot, you have to, like, I had to be able to focus solely on that and try to block out everything else when I hit record, which was a lot. I recorded a lot of footage. So it was definitely a lot of work.
Yeah. And then when we're done at the course, head back to the Airbnb. Like Danny was going through videos. I'm sure you were doing video stuff. I had to go through all the pictures that I took that day.
No, I was.
And when we were done at the course, it wasn't like we were done for the day. It was like you said, wake up, get to the course 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning, and we're not getting to bed until probably 11 or midnight at night. So it's long days, but it's fun stuff.
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
good stuff.
You two are much better at editing than I was. So I was stoked to take on the role of like the assistant and bring the cameras in from the car, set them up, charge the batteries and make sure get the memory cards out, do some of that stuff, and then cook the spaghetti and meatballs, cook the pizzas, make the queso and chips and queso and all that. So
that's what I was most excited for. Was like, all right, I'm at the course right now. It's 9 a.m. But when I'm done at this course, I know I'm going back home. And I got Chef Riz in the kitchen whipping up some dinner for us. And let me tell you, delicious. First time, I can honestly say this, first time I've had spaghetti and meatballs for breakfast, because that was what was there, and that was how much time I had.
Leftovers, yeah.
Still good.
Yeah.
Still good. Pop that in the microwave, warmed it up a little bit. Approved.
We had some good breakfast. Yeah, I mean, so
anytime someone wants breakfast spaghetti.
Breakfast spaghetti.
First of all.
I also made sausage and potatoes and eggs.
That is true.
So that was good too.
That was also delicious.
So I think that's something that can easily get glossed over. I mean, we had a meeting, a quick little recap meeting a couple hours ago, and I was saying, like, that's important to have that, food at the house ready like that. And Danny, you said, well, we could just get carry out, and I disagree. I disagree. It's like a week of Whataburger after 10-hour days in the hot sun.
Man, let me tell you,
that's gonna mess you up, dude. It's
true. Yeah.
It's the next day you're gonna be like either pooping yourself and just sweating out the rest of the all that
sweat.
processed food, and it's like,
nutrition makes a big difference for sure.
So I mean, I felt good about bringing that to the table.
Yeah.
Pun intended.
Oh my gosh, and we appreciate it, AJ. That was delicious.
Way to cook that one up on the spot, AJ.
That was, both the pun and the food was
yummy.
All right. Anything else? I guess.
And a beer.
People in the chat were talking about the galleries. I guess we can touch on it quickly. I was a little bit surprised at the size of the gallery. I assumed that there would be more people, but I don't know what the situation kind of behind the scenes was like for that. I don't know if they limited spectator passes. People were talking about the spectator passes being expensive. I didn't see what they were charging for those.
Yeah, it looks. I'm just clicking through some of the other events here. It looks like it varies based on event. Okay. And you can get like a what am I thinking of? A VIP pass or like a general admission pass.
Yeah.
And it looked like for one day the general admission was anywhere from like $10 to $25.
Okay.
And then the VIP was usually like $75 and up.
Yeah.
For like a lot. You could walk with a card at one of the events that I looked at.
Okay.
Or it was a lot more access. Obviously it's going to change based on the prestige of the event, but and I'm assuming the space that they have. Right.
And I wonder if the local club that kind of organizes it, I wonder if they have any input on prices and stuff. If it varies, if it's varying from event to event, I would guess that it's not strictly a Disc Golf Pro Tour decision. I would think that if it was just up to them, they would probably have a standard, $20 day pass or $50 for a 3-day pass or something like that.
It's interesting though, because like that's something we started to see more this year is charging for spectators. I guess it's been the past couple of years, but it used to just be you could just show up and watch. Right. And I guess it might be for the better, at least on the player side, because you're going to have people who know about disc golf and are there and they like want to. They're going to know like to stay out of the way and how to behave better, but it does suck to kind of see the fewer people. You just don't get the huge crowds of people that you used to see.
Right. And another benefit for the players is that money, or at least some portion of it, some sizable portion of it goes into the payouts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I wonder if you ask the players, would they rather have a gallery of 1,000 people and a payout of $1,000? Or would they rather have a gallery of 800 people and a payout of $1,800? I wonder. It probably changes depending on where that person's average finish is. Like if you ask Ricky, he'd probably say, well, I'd rather have more people. But if somebody finishes in 12th, maybe they would rather 12th place payout a little bit higher, since the gallery isn't going to be following them. It wouldn't make as much of a difference to them. Whereas Ricky was on lead card final round, and he would love to have all those extra people there cheering him on and kind of building up that environment.
And I'm sure if they see like not a lot of spectators at these events, I'm sure they would lower the prices in the future if they think that that's the trade-off that they want to make.
Yeah, and I don't mean to imply that there was nobody there. There was,
for sure, yeah.
I'm so bad at guessing numbers.
Like 50?
Yeah. I would guess there was like 500 people. Is that
in the whole event?
Like spectating final round MPO lead card. Is that
I don't think there was that many.
That might be a little high.
Yeah.
Is that high? Okay.
I think there was 50 to 100 if I were to guess.
There was way more than that.
Really?
There was 100 people lined up for Ricky's autograph after he won.
Okay, that's fair actually. Yeah. I don't know. I wasn't looking that direction most of the time.
Yeah, 50 to 100 it was definitely more than that.
Okay.
It was multiple hundreds of people for sure.
Yeah, there were a lot of people, but it definitely could have been tighter.
Sure, there could always be more people. Yeah, I honestly though I think this is the future. I think this is I like you said, they might adjust the prices. That's entirely possible, but I don't think that it will ever go back to being free.
Yeah.
If you look at
Right.
any sporting event, any sports venue, anything like that, you have to pay to go watch it. If you want to go to an NFL game, tickets aren't free. You want to go to an NBA game, tickets aren't free. You want to go to a NASCAR race, you got to
Bro,
buy tickets.
That low-key sounds like a lot of fun, though.
I've been to a NASCAR like,
race? Yeah.
practice day or the qualifying day.
Yeah.
Loud.
I've been to a dirt
Very
track
loud.
race. I've been into a dirt track race in Arkansas, and that was just the feeling of the motors in your chest.
Yeah.
Is like, and the people like this track. I don't know how most dirt racetracks are. It had banked corners and then like nothing after it. And so if a car was going too fast, it would just keep going over the
Oh, like
hump
it was
of
a
the corner.
jump?
Yeah, I just and then a couple seconds later you see go like right on back over. It was so cool.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's super fun.
I've been to one
Races
NASCAR
are
race, and yeah, it's loud.
It is, yeah. Louder than
But
you would
it's-
expect.
Pretty sick. Like the vibe is stoked for loud.
Stoked for loud.
Stoked for loud. That's the vibe of a NASCAR race. If I had to boil it down into 3 words, stoked for loud.
Maybe not like stoked and loud.
Nope, just like when you're on your way there, you're like, oh yeah, it's gonna be loud, and I'm stoked. That's everybody. Everybody that walks through the gates. Stoked for loud.
Stoked for loud.
But I don't know. But yeah, I mean, there's seeing something live, like in person. A lot of people really like it, but not everybody likes it.
And I
Not
think-
everybody prefers it. Not everybody is seeking that out. Some people are more costs. They're more budget oriented.
Right. It definitely, for me, at least my opinion, it definitely depends on the event. Like if it was the World Championships for disc golf, I would love to be there. But if it's the Super Bowl, I like watching it at home. You get to watch the commercials. You can pause it if you need to. You can have your friends or family come over and you can make this good food, and you get to watch replays. You get to see everything in slow motion or whatever. Whereas when you're live, you miss all that stuff. But if it were, some random Sunday football game, then yeah, I'd love to go to it. So I think that depends. I wonder what the gallery would have been like if it was free to spectate.
If it was louder.
If there were more engines at PDGA sanctioned events, we'd be stoked for loud.
I mean, I've also
Golfers are known to be stoked for loud.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
Golfers
really.
in general.
Yeah, golf is a very typically loud sport. There's a lot of yelling, loud clearing of throats.
I mean, we saw Jomez coverage first round. Those shirts were loud.
Oh my gosh.
And there were people stoked.
Mattio's shirt round 1. I was stoked for Mattio's shirt round 1.
Not to mention his
Hilarious.
caddy's shirt, too.
Absolutely hilarious.
Shout out, Gabe.
All right, let's get to. We'll do 2 squad questions, and then I've got a player
Oh.
of the week for this week.
Pow.
Stick around because you're gonna want to be here for this one. First squad question comes to us from Jesse.
Oh.
Jesse wants to know from each of us, what does your dream vacation look like? You trying to go to the beach? You trying to go to Antarctica? Are you trying to go somewhere where you hopefully don't make that face? What's your dream vacation like, AJ?
Dream vacation. Shoot.
All right, Danny, what is your dream vacation like?
So
That's it. All I get is 3 seconds.
Uh-huh.
Hawaii.
Nice.
I mean, Hawaii seems lit. I
Hawaii
don't know.
seems like
It'd
it'd
be
be
fun
good.
to go somewhere I could speak Spanish because I speak Spanish relatively well. But also, like,
Danny, I'm going to let you know something really quick.
yeah,
You can speak Spanish anywhere you want.
that is true. Yeah, but like a
Es
place to
verdad.
use that.
A place where you
Es la
have to
verdad,
speak
sí.
Spanish.
I'm more of a homebody. I kind of like just hanging out with my cat. So if I could have a week to just take off and like work on projects at home, play games,
speak
hang out
Spanish
with
to
my
Tracer.
cat. Yeah, she speaks Spanish too, as well as she speaks English anyway. Yeah, that's
Fair
kind of
point.
my dream. I guess it would be fun to like travel, but like also no. You know?
Little staycation.
Sorry, I'm kind of a
Would you-
boring. That's a boring. If I had to travel somewhere, I kind of want to go over to Europe. That would be fun too. Like Spain might be cool.
Is it the actual
España.
traveling aspect of traveling? Like you don't like the driving, the flying part of it, or is it just the fact that you're just not at home?
Mostly that.
Okay,
Not
so
at home.
Okay.
Like I don't mind driving on road trips. I don't mind going in airplanes.
Danny came
It's
in
been
clutch
years.
yesterday. We had like an 8-hour drive. Danny drove probably 5.5 of
did a
those 8
lot of it.
hours.
It was a bit, and I don't mind doing it. I like driving, but like being not in my normal routine is like, meh.
Yeah,
It's fun doing things in other places. Like if I could just teleport instantly to be somewhere else, and then teleport instantly back home to sleep in my bed and take a shower in my shower,
well, it's your dream
You'd be
vacation.
Sign
in
me
a-
up.
You
You'd
could
be in a
do-
TV show.
Yeah,
sign me up.
That's how they do it in TV shows.
this is your dream.
It's true.
I think mine's probably pretty similar. I think I want to go. I love mountains.
Yeah.
And so I think I don't know where's somewhere. I always see these pictures in like, it's not Scotland, somewhere over in Scandinavia or somewhere that has like the Swiss Alps or something. All these just insane mountain views. I think that would be my dream. And then like, obviously there's some like super cool disc golf course there and I'm gonna birdie all of the holes because I'm really good and it's my dream. So yeah, it's some course that's the best disc golf course in the world somewhere in. Man, I wish I could think of it. It's not Scotland, but it's somewhere over there
Yeah.
with just like super cool mountains.
I think you're thinking of Norway.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Just beautiful views and
Bro, if you go to Norway, get some lefse.
Bro.
get some what?
Lefse.
Lefse.
What
It's
is
like okay. Lefse is essentially like a potato pancake,
okay?
except very, very thin, and you make it on this big old burner, and you use like sticks because if you use anything else, like you have to go the whole length of it, otherwise it'll split. And you cook it, and you cut it, and then you put butter on it and sugar, and you roll it up and eat it, and it is bomb.
Okay, so for those of you that are just watching and or listening, lefse looks like a tortilla.
But a big tortilla.
It's hard to tell on
Oh.
Google Images, but yes, it looks like a tortilla that is just rolled up.
It is very good.
I
There
mean,
are. I'm from Minnesota, and in Minnesota, the farmers market, there's a sweet old Norwegian ladies that make lefse. They are just the cutest old ladies, and they will sell you lefse, and you have to keep it in the freezer. And
you free.
It
Is
is
this the thing
amazing.
you eat cold?
it's usually like below room temperature when you eat it, but like it's gonna go bad if you just leave it on the counter.
Okay, see, this looked like a. Maybe it's because I was just thinking, oh, it's tortillas.
That's how when you cook it, it's hot, but then
Okay, so you cook it, let it cool off, then you put the butter and sugar.
yes. And presumably you could do other things than sugar as well. Yes. Is that your mom in the chat that says Switzerland, Anthony?
That is either my mom or my dad, and that I think that's what I'm thinking of is Switzerland. So, yeah, thank you, mom
Paul's in
and
the
or
chat.
dad. Speaking of thank yous, we have to give a thank you to a guy with the coolest name of all time. His name is, and I'm not kidding, Mark Kerr. Marker is his name. Full name, Mark Kerr. Marker is this guy's name. He is the manager at, maybe not the one in Tyler, but he manages A Torchy's Tacos.
Oh, yeah.
Hooked us up with some gift cards. Got Torchy's for dinner.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mark Kerr. And, yeah.
That was nice. That was
Pretty sick.
real nice of you, Mark. Yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciated
Delicious.
that, too. My dream vacation.
Hit us with it.
Yeah. I mean,
Is it like Mars or something? I could see
Yes.
it being Mars and you're up there just Looney Tunes space jamming. Let's hear it.
Shoot. Yeah.
See, shoot like basketball.
Dang. Shoot, dang. I don't know. I mean, I think what first comes to mind is Hawaii. It's been I went
Rewind.
I went there. I've been there twice. It's been about almost 20 years now. Yeah, about 20 years. So I'd like to go back again, do some more discovering and more hiking and snorkeling and chilling on the beach and watching people surf huge waves, and
it's your dream. You could be the one surfing these massive waves. I just birdied everything at the best disc golf course in the world in Switzerland, so it's far more believable that you learn how to surf, AJ.
I guess, yeah. Nah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I don't really think surfing is my bag.
You just like watching?
I like I could do street, like surfing, surfboards, skateboards. Like when I think of skateboarding, I'm not necessarily like, oh yeah, let me grind the rail and do kick flips and all that, McTwists.
Okay.
But I like cruising. I like riding around and cruising.
Just
so
straight down the road.
Similar to hiking. It's like I like enjoying the moment and enjoying the experience. And so I think watching people surf is an enjoyable experience for me as well. Kind of like, yeah. So that would be fun. It'd be nice to go back and get some authentic Hawaiian cuisine and some shave ice.
There you go. My girlfriend Madison went to Hawaii when she was very young, and she always tells me that Hawaii has the best shrimp. Anytime we have anything with shrimp, she's like, "Oh, it's good, but shrimp in Hawaii is better."
It's good, but
I don't know. She could have just been a child, and it was like the first time she had shrimp. I don't know.
First time she tasted garlic powder. I don't know. There's a few others. There's a few other dream vacations, like you mentioned Ireland, and yeah, I mean, everybody watching this live, when we're done here,
go to Ireland. Let's all pack up.
Yeah, when we're done, yeah.
AJ is paying.
No, check just. I think it's like this. Look up scenic relaxation, Ireland, and there's these 4K videos that are like big, huge drone shots of scenic Ireland, and those man,
this one's got a castle.
Yeah, there's some really cool landscape and architecture on those British Isles that I think I would also find very peaceful, and that to me that sounds like the kind of the purpose of that vacation is to take a break and find one's peace. Also, a beer, the Guinness factory is in Ireland, and I heard that having a Guinness like fresh on tap from that factory is like a life-changing experience. So it's like, I love me a nice tall Guinness. I might go to Mulready's tonight.
I guess we have to try it. We'll go to Ireland, get a Guinness straight out of the factory. Don't even put it in a can. I'm just going to lean under your canning machine right in my mouth.
Under the tap.
And then we'll get on a plane. We'll go to Hawaii. We'll try the shrimp. It'll be the best shrimp in our entire life. And then when we're done, we snap our fingers. We're all back at Danny's apartment, and we can just crash speaking Spanish.
Speak Spanish to the cat. Sounds great. That sounds really great. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I think with the vacation, it's a lot of it has to do with the experience. So, like, I just try to think of like what are some experiences that I think I would really enjoy and take some pleasure in. And I mean, like we were just saying, like, I'm stoked for Loud as well.
Stoked for Loud.
You guys, I got to be the captain for the second shift in the drive back from Texas, and Danny had to turn the volume down multiple times.
Loud.
Probably because I have severe hearing loss. Because I'm just stoked for Loud, man. So right. I don't know. So anyways, stoked for Loud, live sporting events. I'd love to see another playoff basketball game. I'd love to see a game in the NBA Finals. It'd be sick to watch the Portland Trailblazers because I love Portland. So if it's a dream, it's like an amalgamation of all the cool experiences. I love Portland. I love basketball. I love playoff basketball. I love disc golf. So it's like all those things in one. Dude, if we did a disc golf adventure to Ireland and played some Irish disc golf, that'd be sick.
It would be. It would.
We'll see.
Let's So you're trying to combine all those things into one.
Dreamer's gonna dream, man.
Let's see how well you can combine all of the differences and similarities between the agent and the guard into one, because that's what James wants to know. How does the agent compare to the guard? All the differences and similarities into one.
Putter.
That's,
There it is.
Okay, so for real, I think the agent.
No, yeah, sorry.
The agent is not quite as deep. It's definitely more rounded around the edge.
Yeah.
It's still on the deeper side, but it's not as deep as the guard.
No.
Stability, probably about the same.
I'm gonna say the agent is a bit more overstable.
A little bit more.
I think the agent fades more, but the guard is just it's not like either one of them turns more.
Right.
Okay.
I think out of the hand, the guard just kind of slows down and falls, whereas the agent actually fades because the guard, like the front of it's just like a brick.
It's very flat on the edge,
Yeah.
where the agent is kind of more of your traditional putter
They say
shape.
Steady Ed invented the beveled edge disc, and the guard is hardly beveled.
Yes, that's not what he had in mind when he
Yes.
invented beveled edge discs. All right, let's go to the moment we've all been waiting for.
Pow!
Anthony's Player of the Week.
Anthony's Player of the Week.
Can I get that in a Southern accent?
All right, y'all. Moment we all been waiting for. We don't pronounce G's around these parts.
There's not a G in it.
Tony's Player of the Week. Yeah, I know. We all been waiting for this moment, though.
Waiting.
Yep.
There's not even a T either. It's just like W-A-I.
Now the tour's in Nashville, and that G is silent. What are you trying to tell me that Nashville doesn't start with a G? I got this ant putter here.
All right.
Yeah, the moment we all been waiting for. Tell you what,
Well, I have
Player of the Week.
I have an addendum or I'm calling an audible on my Player of the Week.
I go for Sam Elliott, but like a little, but just like Sam Elliott's cousin who still works on the ranch. He's he's way down here, but he's something's up. Something. And again, we don't pronounce G's around these parts, folks. All right, Tony, you take it from here. I've had about enough of this fancy microphone for a few minutes. Tell the people at home, what's your Player of the Week? I said, tell me, Tony. Gosh darn it.
All right,
I'm
so
still delirious from
Can you
like
tell we're a
five
bit loopy?
straight
Like-
5 straight days of just like so much work in that Tyler's son.
initially my Player of the Week was going to be in typical me fashion, not
Not a player.
a player,
It was
and
going to
not-
be me doing the Texas voice.
also
That was
not
your Player
a
of the Week.
singular person. I was going to say it was the three of us because we did a really good job media-wise covering Texas State.
That's so sweet of you.
And then at the beginning of all of whatever that was that you just did, you kind of lost me. And I was going to say, you know what? I'll give it to just Danny. Danny did most of the driving yesterday. Danny did a lot of stuff. Danny did great.
Oh, man.
I'm not going to be selfish and include myself. But then it just kept going and going. And
Yep, just kept
I'll be
going
honest,
and
AJ,
going.
you kind of got me back in. So I think I'm just
What?
going to stick with all three of us.
Dang.
I'm going to audible my audible. And I'll say that
Wow.
my Player of the Week is
Will Smith.
not where I was going to say. I'll say it's the Dynamic Discs media team. I think we did a very good job. I'm very proud of the work that we did. We somehow made it.
So we're
Thank
giving
you.
ourselves our own award,
Thank
and
you.
we're
Yes.
also applauding ourselves
Thank
for
you.
winning.
I'm not directly giving myself an award.
Conan.
I think we kind of are, but like,
If I just give it to the media team, it's pure coincidence that my shirt says media team on
oh,
it.
so sick.
So, like, I didn't name myself. Does that count?
It's better than
Well-
some, but yeah,
This isn't the worst I've done.
not the worst.
All right.
Oh man, hey, thanks. I appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, way to be gracious, guys.
Mm-hmm.
I took a lot of pride in the work that I did, and I did it for my team.
As you should be proud.
Yeah,
You should be proud. So should you, Danny.
it was fun.
Thank you.
It was a lot of fun.
Speaking of Danny, I believe I'm going to go ahead and nominate you
Oh,
for next week's Player of the Week.
oh, me, little old me.
Players of the week
Who
doesn't
knows?
have to be a player, but just they have to do something relevant in the past week. That's we should just call this the blank of the week.
Relevant
Person of the week.
But it's not always one person. It could be
That's
people.
true. Yeah. Guy of the week.
Just person and or persons of the week until we get to the point where not person or persons win.
Mhm.
And we want to nominate like I don't know, Danny's cat. Maybe Tracer does
Oh.
something cool and
Okay, so person of the week is
Not
take
even a
that.
person.
Yeah, that one off.
Right,
Just
that's
of
what-
the week.
right, just fill in the blank of the week.
Entity of the week.
Yep.
Entity.
Being
What
of the
if-
week. Sentient being of the week.
At this point, Danny, it's on you to figure it out because it's your week
Fair
for
enough.
next week.
I will take it. Thank
Oh,
you.
man.
All right.
But you know what? Attaboy, Rick.
Attaboy, Rick.
Dude.
Rick?
That was, I mean, that was tough. I mean, we were all there. I mean, you guys
Pretty
were there for
nasty.
the full final round. I just came in like at the halfway point. But man, those last 10 holes that I observed, things were just back and forth and back and forth. And then Rick took the lead and hung on to it. And that was really impressive. Especially again how he had to be aware that he was trying to remain undefeated at the Texas State
For
Championships.
sure. And if you want to hear more thoughts about this, tune into the beginning of this episode. Just click back about an hour and 7 minutes. Actually, go an hour because the first 7 minutes is mostly just awful Southern accents.
A lot of Southern
Yeah.
accents.
Yeah, see, I don't know. Yours,
Talking about Wranglers.
And
And
okay.
Dodge
all right, man.
Rams.
Tell you what. I'll tell you what.
What?
What's the rest? What else we got?
Thanks.
I don't know. I just want to say,
We got.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Do we got time for one more question?
Do we?
sure.
It's a quick one.
All right.
This one comes to us from Justin.
I'm always down for another question.
Justin wants to know.
Is that G silent on the Justin?
Yep,
Okay. Thank you.
sure is. Do you prefer your wings boneless or bone in?
Oh my gosh. I was going to sit this question out, but I feel passionately about this, okay?
If
All right,
you say
all right,
boneless,
Danny.
young buck, I will have issues.
Bone-in wings are adult chicken nuggets. If you're trying to
You
act like
mean
those
boneless.
Sorry, boneless wings are adult chicken nuggets. If you're trying to
Attaboy.
act like boneless wings are wings, you are incorrect. You are factually wrong.
That's my boy right there.
But
Player
if
of
you
the
want to
week,
enjoy
Danny
bone-in or
Lindall.
boneless wings, go ahead. But don't try to act like they're wings.
Call them dino nuggies as they are. Yeah, I'm 100% team bone in.
I tell you what. This was actually something that I was thinking about last night.
That doesn't surprise me.
Not for real though. So I was.
This is not.
Where
gonna
did
be
I
a
see
quick
this?
Answer, I
Where
know.
did I see this? I saw someone who said something about hopefully you share my love for buffalo wings, or share a love for buffalo wings as much as I do. And I wanted to ask this individual.
Nailed the quote, by the way.
Yeah. There we go. My bad. Sorry. And so I was going to ask this individual, buffalo wings, huh? Bone in or boneless? And then I thought, maybe it's an unconditional love. And so that's where I land on this subject. Boneless, bone in, don't matter to me. As long as I got that chicken meat.
AJ, you just spent 5 minutes to say quite literally nothing. That is a special talent you have, my friend. You just rambled on and on and on to say, I'm not going to answer the question.
Tell you what, man. That's my resume in a nutshell right there. That's what I'm good at. What can I say?
You could say boneless or bone in.
Nope.
Yep.
Both. Both, please.
Okay, well, then I'm going to answer for AJ because as AJ was a previously established chef for the week, not once but twice did AJ make wings. And both times they were, drum roll please, bone
Pun.
in.
Drumstick. Pun.
You probably drummed with them. They were both
Good
bone
job,
in.
Tony.
AJ is team bone in. I'm team bone in. Danny is team bone in. Episode 20 of Understable Minds is
Just about done because I was standing in the freezer section looking at chicken wings.
Where is this
and I
going?
thought I could get boneless wings and just put some sauce on them. And that would be delicious.
It would be, but that's not what you did.
Nope, got the bone-in wings.
Yes.
And then for the after show, I brought the show.
AJ,
Here we
you're
are.
a
We're live.
boneless portion of this show.
Oh my god.
How dare you?
To everybody in the chat, we were muted, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
What would you what's there to apologize for, Tony? Anthony, if you will.
Probably the final 10 minutes of this show where you just got to talk and nothing happened. Hey, AJ, do you prefer
tell you what.
boneless or bone-in wings?
Rabble, 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 rabble. Rabble, rabble, rabble.
I'm going to quote someone. I'm not going to do it well. And then I will not answer
I
your
did it
question.
pretty poorly. I did it pretty poorly. Let me see if I was looking at one of the dating apps, and one of the prompts was like, "We'll get along if you share your love for buffalo wings." I can't remember what it was. Crud.
Boy.
And I was
Boy.
gonna
As interested as
reply.
I am in AJ's dating profile.
Yeah, it's mainly just that Snapchat filter. It's just selfies
that?
with that funny shawl rounded face. It's pretty terrible.
All right, we have one question that if it goes the way that the bone in and or out wings went, we
Do you prefer your putter beadless or beaded?
we can just
Well, here's the
leave,
thing.
and we can just let AJ be, and the viewers will just see.
Yeah, but
themselves
I would
out.
really appreciate that if you would just let me be.
Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. What is the appropriate jelly?
I like strawberry,
Oh,
raspberry.
dang.
See, what's
Now that's a
interesting is
tough question.
if you
Is
ask,
the G silent? Because I tell you what.
if you asked me, I would just be like, oh, grape jelly, because like whatever, that's just kind of like the standard, right? But if you asked me to eat grapes with peanut butter on them, I'd be like, well, no, sounds kind of gross. Same thing with like strawberries, strawberry jelly, and peanut butter on a
If you
sandwich
asked me
is
to
good.
eat grapes with peanut butter on them, I'd say, who invited you to my wedding?
But I think if you just handed me a strawberry covered in peanut butter, I'd be like, what? This isn't supposed to mix.
Nope.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't have a preference on jelly.
Well, joke's on you. I got strawberry jam this past week from Brookshire's Food and Pharmacy.
And I did have a peanut butter and jelly with that strawberry jam.
All right,
And it was-
here's a better question.
It was fine.
How do you prefer to apply said peanut butter and jelly to your bread?
What do you mean? Like what utensil?
What's your method? What's your
I spread it? I don't get the question. Like, are you asking if I use a knife or the back of a spoon? Or my finger, or I just dump it from the jar? What?
Do you put peanut butter on one slice of bread or both?
One.
How dare you?
You put it on both?
Where I come from, and that's definitely Texas, we spread some peanut butter on each slice of bread and then put some jam, jelly, or preserves on one of the slices, and then top it with that second slice of bread. So if you were to look at the cross section of your peanut butter and jelly sandwich, you would see from top to bottom bread, peanut butter, jam, jelly, preserves, peanut butter, more bread, plate.
Oh, okay. So not paper towels. Got it.
How dare you know? This peanut butter jelly deserves to be eaten off a plate.
Guys, I've got to run. I think we got to call the show for now.
Okay.
Thank you so much for hanging out in the chat.
Danny's got stuff to do.
We will
I've got
catch y'all
stuff
next
to do.
time.
Goodbye.
All right, bye.